Tonewood?
Hi, I'm the ghost from Rob's latest video, and I'm here to take you through the behind the scenes of this obviously cursed video shoot. First, we'll talk about the flickering of the lights.
And maybe even crazier flickering this time. Okay.
As you can see, there are 3 lights that hit Rob in this shot. One from the front, one from the left, and one from the right. These lights actually correspond with the 3 cameras that are set up to catch each playthrough.
Cool.
Unlike simply flicking the lights on and off, the different directionality of each light gives the haunted playthrough a much more ghostly presence. Especially the 4th light that hits him from directly underneath.
Could you turn on? No, that looks good.
Now let's talk about moving the haunted guitar. This is simply 2 shots composited together.
Go for it. And I look at it. And then it keeps going. Oh, the shadow on the wall's creepy. Alright, keep going.
The 2 clips were placed on top of each other, and then you use the pen tool in After Effects to cut out the portion of the frame that you want to keep. In this case, we wanted to keep the neck of the guitar. And then you move the dots every time the neck of the guitar moves to keep that image on top of the moving haunted guitar. It's the same technique we used for my first appearance in the video.
Tonewood?
Now obviously I am a very real ghost, and as a very real ghost I have green-fingered monkey hands and legs in black pants. It's just how real ghosts are. So in order to appear out of the guitar, we had to use After Effects and the same compositing technique. Here you can see Jake hitting my ghost sheet with a box fan so it'll move with a ghostly wind. At the end of this shot, you can see as a real ghost, I also have some preliminary eye holes that did not end up being the eye holes I used for my eye holes. After I did my ghost thing, it was Rob's turn.
Run away with it. I'm gonna run this way.
Then those 2 shots are composited together. The position is moved so that I rose faster out of the fretboard than I did on the day. And the opacity is changed to really realize my ghost self. You can see I can be completely transparent, completely opaque, but I ended up at about 76% opacity. At least in this first shot. In other shots, you'll see that sometimes I vary in opacity from about 50% to 65%, creating a ghostly flicker or a ghostly pulse, depending on whatever Rob thought looked best for each particular shot. In this shot, Rob did his take, and I did mine, and in the final composite you can see that we also added some light around me cast on the fence and door as I emerge. Speaking of light, shooting in the woods at night was one of the hardest parts of this shoot. This is what the woods looked like before we added any light to the scene. And since there are no outlets in the woods, we had to get some battery-powered lights specifically for this shoot.
Okay.
You can even see one of those lights in this outtake from the barn.
Oh, light. Saw the light.
Obviously this creates a very unnatural look to the lighting of the woods. Almost more like a Blair Witch or a David Lynch kind of effect. But in the context of a Halloween special, it does the job. Another thing about shooting in the dark woods is that it's dangerous. Since we were lighting the woods for the camera, many times we couldn't see where we were going.
Yeah, I can't even see it. Alright. Yep. You okay?
And this portion of the chase was originally supposed to have the ghost moving in toward the camera. Yeah. But when we were going through the raw footage, we saw this clip of the ghost just standing there.
Just gonna build up some leaves so that it looks like we're right on the ground.
And it was a much more arresting image than the ghost moving toward the camera. Heading into the final sequence, Rob knew that he wanted the ghost to corner him somewhere.
Move.
And he knew all the beats, but we didn't have a location for it until the last minute. We were lucky to find the perfect location last minute and shot there from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Cut.
The location looked spectacular, including all of the turkeys and ducks inside, but they weren't the best for sound. A lot of the quiet scenes weren't actually very quiet. Especially at the end of the night when we were trying to get some of the noises of the barn to drop in during post. And any ghost can tell you that the hardest part of any video is making sure his eye holes look right.
How do my eyes look? Okay. Oh, I didn't see it. I can't see anything. Yeah, I could only see one eye hole. Ugh. I think I lost the eye holes at the end. Yeah.
On the subject of trying to maintain ghostly composure, the only way for a ghost to really stab someone with a knife and still look like a ghost is by stabbing sideways.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll really swing it too.
Probably the best part of this video, though, was finally getting to play the guitar. I always wanted to learn to play the guitar, but the beginning was so slow and frustrating. But thanks to the Halloween special, I finally got to play.
Whoa, this is really scary.